President Clinton also focused on the 50th anniversary of D-Day. He leaves Wednesday on an 8-day European tour wrapped around the D-Day celebration. Greater Clevelanders are holding parades and ceremonies to pay tribute to those who served and died to protect our freedoms. In Euclid, a big crowd lined city streets to watch and applaud veterans groups and marching bands strutting their stuff. This is one of the area's largest Memorial Day events. Later, officials dedicated a new shrine to the city's war dead. Last summer's powerful windstorm toppled the original monument. The new one is an exact replica. It lists 100 Euclid residents who gave their lives in military service. And hundreds of folks turned out for a parade in South Euclid. It kicked off at Green and Anderson Roads and proceeded to the Veterans Memorial. And the Gold Star mothers were honored before a parade in Brunswick. After the ceremony, there was a memorial service, a wreath flag, and a rifle salute.
Police have yesterday from the overnight shooting of a 21-year-old man. It happened at East 40th and Woodland. The man was shot in the head and the abdomen several times. Now, police don't know the victim's name. He is now listed in good condition. Lorain County Police say an Eaton Township man was shot by officers, and he believed that he was in contact with dead country western singers. Officers discovered a number of letters in the home of Michael Crockett that suggest that Crockett believed that he can see and speak with certain dead country western stars. Officers searched Crockett's home after he held him at bay and then shot an Avon Lake officer in the shoulder. A bulletproof vest stopped the bullet. Police returned fire and wounded Crockett. He remains in critical condition at Metro Health Medical Center.
Police in Painesville are investigating the death of a man whose body was found yesterday in the Grand River. Two fishermen found the body floating in the river behind a golf course near East Erie Street. The cause of death is still unknown. The man's name is not being released. Police say it appears the man may have fallen from a 45-foot embankment above that river.
An appearance by a former Nation of Islam spokesperson ended in him being shot. It topped World Watch today.
Khalid Abdul Muhammad is in satisfactory condition after taking a bullet in the leg last night. Jim Hill has the latest.
The attack came outside a gymnasium only minutes after Khalid Abdul Muhammad spoke at the University of California Riverside campus. Witnesses said a gunman had rushed from a crowd of protesters, firing 6 or 7 shots, hitting Muhammad once in each leg and wounding 2 of his bodyguards.
All of a sudden, out of my left eye, I see a gentleman kind of yell something. I just see a 45. We all know what 45s look like. And then pop, 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 and then pop. And then people, were just running, screaming, crying.
Police identified the suspect as 43-year-old James Edward Bess, described as a disaffected minister with the Nation of Islam. Witnesses say he was badly beaten by Muhammad's supporters as police struggled to take him into custody.
It was a very intense struggle. There was a lot of emotion, a lot of anger, a lot of intensity.
Muhammad was rushed to a nearby hospital where doctors said his wounds were not life-threatening.
He's alert and he's completely stable right now at this point in time.
The controversial former spokesman for the Nation of Islam was invited to speak at the campus by an African-American student group. About 450 students paid up to $15 to listen. Muhammad's heavily anti-Semitic speeches have made news across the U.S. and frequently draw protesters. His reference to Jews as the bloodsuckers of the black nation caused widespread criticism.
All of them are blood. All of them have put us in this condition.
And he was suspended as Nation of Islam spokesman by leader Louis Farrakhan. In speeches throughout the country, Muhammad told audiences his fiery words were designed to make whites, and no doubt all his critics, very uncomfortable. Since the attack, a lot of people must surely be uncomfortably nervous as they await further details about the shooting, the suspect, and the motive. Jim Hill, Riverside, California.
In other world news, dozens watched as a group of men sexually attacked a 16-year-old girl in Miami over the weekend. The girl was assaulted on the dance floor of a nightclub. But it's not only the assault that's causing a stir. A police report says the girl provoked the attack because she was dancing provocatively. Members of the National Organization for Women say they'll ask the Sheriff's Department to clarify and correct that report.
Memorial Day celebrations got underway Sunday outside Washington. The 101st Airborne Division held ceremonies honoring the nation's war dead at Arlington National Cemetery. They laid a wreath on the grave of John F. Kennedy. He would have turned 77 on Sunday. An amateur tornado chaser caught dramatic pictures of one of the tornadoes that formed Sunday over Texas. The tornado touched down near Scotland, Texas. The twister caused no injuries, and there are no reports of any damage.
The economy continues to strengthen, but according to public opinion, the Clinton administration still isn't doing a good job. The latest polls show the president's approval rating is down for the third straight month. Jim Miklashevsky has more from the White House.
The president's job approval rating took a big hit in the past month, dropping to its lowest level since last August. The Harris poll, conducted last week, gave President Clinton a 42% positive rating. That's a 6-point drop over the previous month, while the president's negatives climbed to 56%. That's up 5 points. All this at a time when the economy is on a roll, when a president's numbers are supposed to be going up. But Mr. Clinton continues to get hit by a steady barrage of negative political news, persistent stories about his and Hillary Clinton's investments, and last month's sexual harassment lawsuit have undoubtedly dragged down the president's approval. Then there was last week's story about a top aide using the presidential helicopter to go golfing. The White House moved quickly to kill that.
And I think that you can see that the minute the president found out about it, it was dealt with. David Watkins has resigned. The taxpayers have their money back. That's what's important.
The president's slide in the polls could hurt in the short run. It weakens his hand with Congress just as he attempts to push through his health care reform. Jim Miklashevsky, NBC News, the White House.
Well, John is here now, and we really couldn't ask for a nicer holiday weather-wise.
More important, summer's here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Finally.
I'm for that.
I've
got my rubber sandals, got my straw hat. Right? James Taylor, notwithstanding. Let's take a look at where we stand across the North Coast. Temperatures already exceeding 80 degrees along the lakeshore. Burke at 82, where the Rib Fest is in full swing, and those grills are a mite hotter. 82 up at Willoughby, 80 at Richmond Heights and at Hopkins, 78 at Akron, Canton, Youngstown, 79, 77 at Mansfield, and we will all top the 80-degree mark across the Buckeye State. Take a look at those 90s stretching as far north as west central Iowa, and we have warmer weather coming our way today before the temperatures begin to fall later on in the work week, and we get some much-needed rain perhaps tomorrow, but I'll have the complete forecast details in just a few minutes.
No rain today, though.
None today.
Right.
Not on our picnics, our
Thank
barbecues,
you.
or our parades.
Okay, thank
you, John. There is much more ahead on Channel 3 Noon News. In Health Watch 3, it is as much a problem as anorexia and bulimia. We'll take a look at compulsive overeating.
In Consumer Watch, we'll show you how some folks receive loans interest-free.
And in his special travel series, Dale heads to the Ohio home of a former president.
If you're concerned about getting rid of weeds this way, try a better way. I'm Jim Martindale, here to introduce you to the Weed Popper. Place the Weed Popper next to a weed, step down, and the weed pops right out. The Weed Popper pulls weeds without kneeling, bending, and without chemicals that may be dangerous to our groundwater supply. The Weed Popper, with its 100% lifetime guarantee, pops weeds out as easy as 1, 2, 3.
At Discount Drug, Grow Wise, Handy Andy, and participating Our Own makes a great gift for friends who garden.
The Cataract Eye Center is accepting new patients at locations throughout Greater Cleveland, offering treatment for all types of eye problems, including cataracts, glaucoma, droopy eyelids, nearsightedness, corneal transplants, diabetes, and laser surgery. The Cataract Eye Center, with many years of successful treatment for thousands of satisfied patients. Protect your vision. Call now for an appointment. 574-8900. That's 574-8900. The Cataract Eye Center.
Honesty, integrity, value. That's what Bud Brady Ford gives you each and every day. My brothers, Dave, Jerry, and I, the Brady Bunch, take great pride in the high-quality service we provide our customers.
There's always a Brady on the premises. We'll take care of all of your questions and concerns.
Come shop Bud Brady Ford, family-owned and operated. The Brady Bunch has been serving Cleveland for over 15 years.
We want to sell you a Ford today.
Bud Brady Ford, 8003 Broadway, east or west, we sell for less.
You're watching Channel 3 News with Jolene Costanzo and Art Edwards. Plus, today's Doppler-free weather from meteorologist John Loftman. Now, Channel 3 News continues.
In Health Watch 3 today, imagine snacking on an entire bag of sugar or devouring a box of cookies in minutes. For thousands, it's an everyday habit. Andrea Brody reports compulsive overeating adds more than just pounds. It also adds misery.